All right, sit down, take a breath. This one's going to hit. Maybe not all at once, maybe not in the way you expect. But if you've ever loved someone so hard you forgot how to be alone and then got left there anyway, this is for you. Yeah, you. Don't look away now. I'm talking straight to the part of you that still doesn't know if it was your fault or theirs heartbreak made me hot. And I don't just mean I started hitting the gym or got better lighting or finally figured out my skincare routine. I mean, it burned off the version of me that was built for someone else, someone who didn't stay. And what's left is raw, sharp, and kind of terrifying in the best way. Because when someone leaves you like that, with no closure, no explanation, just silence where their love used to live, it does something wild to your brain. You start replaying everything like a crime scene. But the only blood on the floor is your self worth, and the weapon? It's you. Your overthinking, your people pleasing, your need to be chosen. You start to realize you were trying to be lovable instead of just being loved, trying to be convenient instead of complicated. But, baby, you are complex. You are galaxies and contradictions and depth, not a damn hotel room. Somebody checks into when they're bored and checks out of when they remember who they are. And listen, I wasn't always like this. I used to be soft, soft in the way that bled, soft in the way that made people feel safe enough to break me and walk away like I'd heal on my own. And for a while I did, over and over, until I couldn't anymore. Until the softness started to rot and I turned into something else. Let me tell you a story. There was this girl, I'll call her Jade, because that's what she felt like. Precious, sharp edged, expensive, dangerous to mishandle. We weren't together long, but you don't need forever to get wrecked. Sometimes it only takes one right person at the wrong time. We met at a party. The obvious energy she had was like she didn't belong anywhere, which is exactly why everyone wanted her. And of course, I fell, not in the slow burn kind of way. I fell like a glass off a shelf, no warning, just shatter. I was doing things I swore I'd never do, texting back in zero point 0.3 seconds, changing my plans, forgetting who I was before her. And the thing is, she liked me, but she didn't see me. Not really. She saw the version of me that fit into her story, not the one that had his own plot, and I let her, because when you want someone that bad, you'll edit yourself down to the parts you think they'll highlight. And suddenly you're this stripped down draft of a person, hoping they'll find you enough spoiler alert. They won't anyway. She left, not in a dramatic way, in the quiet way, where she just kind of stopped being around, stopped asking, stopped showing up, like love was a light switch, and one day she just turned it off and, bro, I unraveled, not outwardly. I still showed up, still laughed at the jokes, still posted thirst traps with captions like healing era, but inside, I was losing it. I was standing in front of the fridge, crying because I forgot what I came for. I was checking her story like it owed me answers. I was replaying the last time we touched like I could find the moment she decided I wasn't it. But here's the twist. Somewhere in that wreckage, something shifted. There's this moment. And if you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about, where the sadness just flips, where the ache gets tired of itself and turns into anger. Not the kind that lashes out, the kind that wakes you the fuck up. I looked in the mirror and I saw it. I wasn't broken, I was just stripped down. And underneath all that people pleasing and pretending and pining, there I was, finally. And damn, I looked good, not in a surface level way. I looked real. I looked like I'd been through something and came back with stories, with bite, with boundaries, with standards. And let me tell you something. People can smell that from across the room. You start walking different. Not with arrogance, with clarity, like, I've been burned and I'm still hot, now what? You stop chasing people who leave you confused. You stop bending so far you forget your own shape. You start choosing yourself, not in an Instagram quote kind of way, in a visceral day to day, choosing your peace over their presence kind of way. And yeah, it makes you a little dangerous because now you know too much. You know what it's like to give everything and still lose. So you don't give it so easy anymore. You know how to smile while bleeding. So you can't be manipulated with guilt. You know, Your worth isn't up for debate, so the bare minimum doesn't seduce you anymore. You stop waiting to be picked because you finally realize you were never supposed to audition for love. You were supposed to walk in already cast, already worthy, already enough, not standing in line hoping someone would point at you and say, yes, that one. Like love is some exclusive club and you're praying the bouncer lets you in? No. Love isn't a favor, it's a mirror. And the right kind doesn't ask you to shrink to fit inside someone else's idea of who you should be. You stop rehearsing your personality like a performance. Stop curating your softness like it's fragile. Stop begging for crumbs from people who were never ready for a full course version of you. And it clicks. Maybe the reason it didn't work is because you weren't supposed to be digestible. You were supposed to be undeniable. And listen, this part's important. Being hot after heartbreak isn't about revenge. It's not about showing them what they lost. It's not about being the poster child for look what you missed out on. It's about rediscovering what you forgot. You had. It's about getting quiet enough to hear your own voice again. It's about owning your silence, your sadness, your strength. It's about looking at your scars, not as shame, but as texture. Like, yeah, I've been cut, but I healed loud. It's about wearing your pain. Like, it's part of your power, not covering it up, not hiding it, just letting it sit there like it belongs because it does. You start flirting with solitude, start taking yourself out just because you want to, not because you're trying to prove anything. You go to that rooftop bar or walk that art museum solo. And it hits different. It feels like the world is watching you now, not because you're desperate for attention, but because you're finally embodied, finally here, and the night, it notices, it gives you signs. It wraps around you like it's been waiting for you to stop apologizing for taking up space. You make eye contact with strangers and realize they don't see a broken heart anymore. They see fire, they see stories, they see someone who's lived and isn't afraid of it. Maybe they even see danger, not the reckless kind, the kind that says, don't play with me if you're not serious. And that's sexy because it's earned you become the kind of person who doesn't fall apart when people leave, not because you don't care, but because now you know anyone who can walk away wasn't meant to stay, and anyone worth your love won't ask you to dim it just to make them feel brighter, won't flinch at your depth, won't treat your emotional honesty like a burden. They'll see it for what it is, a gift, a damn treasure.